Hey guys, what is up? F1 2020, my team career mode starts right here. If you guys missed part 0, it will be uploaded guys, and it will be linked in the top right hand corner of your screen. That video went out earlier on today. In that video we created the entire team, picked our teammate, our colours, race suit, gloves, helmet, sponsors, all that kind of stuff. So check out that video separately guys. In this one we're jumping straight into the Australian Grand Prix weekend. So if you want to watch all the admin stuff and all the stuff that happens behind the scenes of running the F1 team, then go check out the previous episode guys. We also bought some upgrades in that one as well, so go check it out. I do recommend it. And one last thing guys, if you're new to the channel, there's going to be plenty of content coming out, so get subscribed. I'd greatly appreciate it guys. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subs by the end of the year, so any support would be massively appreciated, and I'll be doing lots of tips and tricks videos also on the channel guys over the next week or so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get straight into the action. And here we go then, we are back on the laptop and it's time to get racing this weekend. You can see on screen the next event is the Australian Grand Prix, so we're going to go ahead and proceed. And this weekend we do have nice sunny conditions mostly all weekend, no rain expected in qualifying or the race. And also let's talk about the upgrades and developments, because as you can see we have brought a bunch of upgrades for this race, and it has meant that we have actually closed the gap to Alfa Romeo a little bit and actually pulled away from Haas and Williams. So we are second from bottom heading into the first race of the season, so some big improvements. And actually we are the most improved team I believe since pre-season, along with probably Ferrari, so some big improvements there. And finally you can see on screen some upgrades that are on the way as well for the next couple of races. So the Aero one is going to take a little bit longer, that's going to arrive on the 24th of March, but the first two will be arriving in the next, I believe, couple of days. I believe on the calendar it's the 12th, so those should arrive in the next 4 days, so hopefully we'll have those in the car very soon. But with that said, we're now going to jump into the first practice session of the season, and you know, the first time we're going to get to drive our brand new car for the 97 Racing F1 team, and I cannot wait to see how it feels. And we're going to start up the engine for the first time and have a little look around as we get underway. And I can tell you practice, to be fair, I'm not going to show much of it because otherwise the videos would be really long, but I can tell you practice went pretty damn well. We'll see in a minute. But here we are hitting the track for the first time with our brand new kind of light blue, dark blue and black car, looking absolutely fantastic in the sunlight, and just giving it a bit of a shakedown to see how she felt. And I can tell straight away there was a lot of low speed understeer, low speed corners, really struggling big time with the car. And also at high speed, really high speed corners especially, we really struggle. You can see on screen we did a few of the programs, not all of them, because again I focused mainly on trying to get comfortable with the car. But we did score 450 points in that session, and you can see on screen, just to confirm it, we scored 450 and our teammate Mick Schumacher did 160. So you put that together and we've got a pretty decent amount of R&D points to spend after this race, and we'll do that at the end of the episode guys, so stay tuned for that one. And you can see also as well, not just R&D points, but also the team acclaim did go up. So for us it went up 2%, for Mick it went up 6%, so he's now level 3, we are level 1, and as a team we've gone up 8%, and we're pretty much halfway there to being hopefully up to team level number 2. And the target is to get team level 2, because once we get there that will give us an extra sponsor slot, and that's exactly what we need to bring in more cash into the team to hopefully invest in other areas. But here we are then jumping into qualifying, the first one of the season, and we are currently in Q1. And my first lap got off to a big surprise here as we get very loose through the chicane, getting very loose to be fair, and spinning around. Luckily for us, no major damage, and we managed to not DNF, so we managed to get the car turned around and we brought it back to the pits. Then on our second lap we made a bit of a mistake into turn number 3, running it a bit hot on the brakes, locking up and losing a bit of time generally. But you'll see now through the fast chicane, this time we hold it in 7th gear, we carry the speed, and this time no dramas as we use all of the track and keep it under control. And we are running 110% AI guys, bear that in mind. I'm running the maximum difficulty, or as much as I can probably this season, so we are up against it here. And our first lap is 6/10 off the cutoff, so we are last and 22nd after our first proper run. But now I'm going to leave you guys with a full lap with the engine sounds on this game, and this was my best qualifying lap of the session, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let's see if it's enough to get us through into Q2. And here we go, out of the final corner, just going up through the gears. DRS open across the line, and we improved by about 0.6 of a second. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and we only improved to 21st place. But we now have a quick interview.
Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
I think overall, Mick was faster in fairness, so, you know, I wasn't perfect either.
Your qualifying pace didn't put you at the front of the grid. Will this be a problem tomorrow?
Obviously, ideally, you want to qualify higher up. That makes, of course, definite sense. But, you know, realistically, we're still a new team. There's no real performance there. So we need to just make the best of a bad situation, really, and try to improve as much as we can.
Appreciate your time.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. And home to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive, and certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo, Ocon and Sergio Perez, Norris, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean, Schumacher, Russell, Martinez and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Yes, guys, so here we are. It's time for the race at Melbourne. We're starting from P21 on the final row of the grid. And to be fair, qualifying was okay, pretty decent. It could have been a little bit better. I think there was a slight bit more time, and I think we could have beaten Russell in the Williams. But besides that, I don't think we had enough pace to beat Mick. He was a bit too quick for us this weekend in qualifying. But the difficulty, of course, is on 110%, so it's always going to be quite difficult. The race pace, though, has been better for me historically, so I feel a bit more confident about my possibilities today in the race. Strategy wise, we're going to start on the hard compound tyres and move on to the softs, and the reason being is because it looks like on this year's game the medium soft is not possible. Strategy wise, it seems like the tyre wear is a bit higher this year, so we're going to have to run hard soft to play it safe and get to the end. Fuel wise, 1.2 laps extra and no rain expected, so that aside, we're going to try and have a good race. I think points will be out of the question today. I think that's a bit too far away at the moment, but if I can get a top 15, that would be a great result for us here today. And of course, the main target is to beat our teammates. So let's try and have a good race, and let's kick the season off on a high and hopefully have a good little race. So let's jump into it and let's get straight underway for the Australian Grand Prix. Here we go then, boys. It's race time here at Australia. The lights are on and they're out. Away we go for the first race of the season. Not a bad start, to be fair, getting a lot of wheel spin. We're going to just about stay in front of Latifi. Into turn 1, looks like Mick's made a bit of progress, making a few moves. We've got Latifi on the outside here, which is now the inside for turn 2. He's going to make that stick. I don't quite have the grip on these tyres at the moment. Got to try and build our confidence. We're going to go back down the inside, though, into turn 3 and try and reclaim that position from the Canadian driver. Let's see if we can make a move here around the outside of turn number 4. Yes, we do. We've got Russell in front, battling away with the Haas, so Russell might be a little bit slow. But at the minute, it's going to be about just weathering the storm, trying to hang on these tyres. Looks like Mick's made a great start, made some really good progress further up the field, which is great to see. There's going to be a lot of engine. Yep, it's not too bad. There is going to be a lot of engine overheating, I think, running in this kind of pack of cars, so it's going to be difficult to get some moves done on the straights. We're going to have to be patient here. We may have to wait a few laps just for the soft tyres to just drop off a little bit so we can start to get the benefits of the hard compound tyre. But for now, not too shabby. It helps the TPs on mediums because he won't be on the back of us straight away. I think I can keep pace with these guys on these tyres. I don't think I'm going to be a million miles away, and that will give us a big strategy advantage later on in the race. Pace is pretty good, to be fair. We're just outside of DRS from George Russell, but we're 1.4 clear of Latifi, so we are dropping the second Williams. Let's see if we can close in on George a little bit on this lap and maybe try and nick some DRS. That would be nice. Pace is good, personal best, and we're still pulling away from Latifi.
We're trailing our teammate by 3.8 seconds.
Yeah, Mick just a little bit further up the road, of course, but that's the benefit of the soft tyres. Those tyres are still pretty quick, it seems. No real drop off at the minute, but hopefully the race will come to us later on. At the minute, we're doing okay. We're not a million miles away, so this is good. Just got to try and see if I can close the gap up a little bit soon. Still no real improvement from my pace. I'm pretty samey. The AI not really dropping off either, so nothing's really happening at the moment. Surely there'll be a phase now soon where the softs start to drop off a little bit, and we'll get our advantage as we get a bit loose there on that curb. At the moment, still P21. No real changes. Oh, that was scary. Car gets very loose at certain moments. Not the first time I've had one of those. Right, we've got Ocon in the pits. Yep, there you go. Looks like he could be two stopping maybe. We'll get confirmation of that in a minute, see what tyre he goes on, but looks like he could be staying on the softs, it looks like. We've got a great pace over Latifi, we're really pulling away. Just the cars in front. Looks like Ocon is going for the soft tyre though, so two stops for him, which could be good for us in terms of our strategy. But at the moment, no one's really dropping off that much.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
A couple other cars as well. Looks like Ricciardo's in there, and also Carlos Sainz. Those guys also seemingly going for soft tyres again. I'm curious to see what strategy Mick goes for. But for now, we're now P17. Russell's still 4.1 up the road. A couple more cars in the pits. This time Russell pits, along with Perez. Sebastian Vettel a bit further up the road.
Okay, gap ahead is 7.0 seconds.
Looks like these guys are actually pitting for the hard compound tyres, so they're not too stopping. As Ocon sets a new purple lap, so we're now P15 in this race. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, we run a bit wide there, getting distracted, but something's happened. We've got cars behind us. Lewis Hamilton's out of the race. Oh my goodness me. What a bombshell for the first race of the season. Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, out of the Grand Prix. Will there be a safety car or a VSC in the first race of the season? We go to green flag. There is Lewis, he's slowing down massively. Yellow flag zone, and there's been contact at turn 1. Oh my goodness me.
Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
What has happened there? I have no idea what the hell has just happened. But there's been some kind of contact. Gasly's out of the race as well. Both of the Ferraris were involved in that, and so was the Red Bull. We're going to have to pick up the pace here, as the Delta's quite far ahead, but we'll have to catch a replay. Charles Leclerc disqualified as well. What the hell has happened there? This race has just gone absolutely bonkers. Both Ferraris involved. We're now up to P6. Wow. Now, I thought I'd hop on here in post-commentary to analyse the incident because it was pretty damn crazy. So first of all, you had Lewis running out of engine power or something on the straight. He's not smoking, but it seems maybe an electrical issue possibly. But he's losing speed. He's going to pull over here on the right-hand side. So that's what kind of started it. Lewis retiring on the pit straight, and he's going to pull over, and that is going to be the end of his race here today. We then move on to the actual on-track incident. And Sebastian Vettel, you can see here, you've got a Red Bull and a Ferrari leaving the pit lane. There's contact, and Charles gets spun around by, I believe, I think it's Albon or Verstappen. I'm not quite sure which Red Bull it was. We'll get a better view here from Charles' perspective. Down the inside he goes, and it's Verstappen who tags him. And a bit of a racing incident there, really, slash, a bit of AI malfunction. We then move on to the final incident, and a few seconds after all this kicked off, a few seconds after Hamilton had his issue, Pierre Gasly's Alpha Tauri just picked up smoke, and yeah, he was out of an engine. So in this case, very simple bit of contact actually as the Haas, you can see that goes into the back of him. Bit of a weird incident, and generally the AI a little bit weird on the pit straight. It seems like it all kicked off at once, and it just created an absolute just crazy situation here. You can see here we come, and the McLaren going by as well. He goes down the inside signs, gets it all wrong. I think he outbroke himself, and you can see Hamilton in the background there over the side of the racetrack.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
Right, there we go. There's the restart. Also, the McLaren, I think there's signs behind me. He's had an issue at turn 1 as well, I think. So it's now Ricciardo who's behind me, Ocon behind him, and then there's a Ferrari behind Ricciardo. So it's all kicking off. It's all gone absolutely bonkers. We didn't benefit from the VSC, so we couldn't pit. But suddenly, this race has really gone mad. Like, I don't know what's going to happen now. Here comes Ricciardo. I'm going to reduce the overtake mode. I'm going to let him go by. We're in a different race through the Renault, so there's no point in me really competing. We're not at that level yet.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button more.
We'll let Ocon go by as well. I know we've got a Ferrari behind us. Sebastian Vettel. And the Ferrari on this is bloody quick, unlike in real life at the minute. So we're going to have to be careful with Seb. He's going to be a lot faster than me. I feel like Seb's not as fast as the Renaults. I think he's struggling. He may have damage from the contact at turn 1, because through the corners I'm actually pulling away a little bit. He just catches up on the straight because the Ferrari power unit is so good. So I think I might be able to hang on here for a little bit. Right, here comes Seb now. Full power in that Ferrari engine. It's going to be quick. We'll let him go by. Again, we're in a different race to him, so there's no point. He's definitely got wing damage because he's slow through the corners.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
Yep, don't worry, Jeff, I'm on it. We've got a massive opportunity now, though, to get something out of this. We're P7 in this race. Everyone's done their pit stops now, I believe, so it's all about when we pit and what we can do on those soft tyres at the end. Okay, Giovinazzi pits, so I thought everyone had pitted, but clearly I was wrong. So we're now P6. I really hope that soft tyre at the end, it will be fresh. I'm hoping it holds on as we now approach half race distance. We're not too far away now from our pit stop. Got a few cars behind starting to catch me up and line up to make a move. Here we go, we've got Norris behind us in the McLaren, and then both of the racing points. In fairness, the pace has been very consistent all race. Every single lap in this stint has been pretty much the same.
Car ahead is a second a lap faster than you.
I'm not really too fussed about Sebastian, to be honest with you, Jeff. Isn't my primary concern at the moment. We've got Lando behind. I can keep him behind for now. I am using a little bit more battery than I'd like, but I'm not too concerned about that. I don't mind. Keeps the pace up, which is good. Oh, big snap there. Red tires just starting to let go. This time Lando will go by. I'm not going to put up a defence. We'll let him do what he's got to do. Personal best.
The car ahead is 4.7 seconds. We're leading our teammate by 9.3 seconds.
Damn, so Mick's not that far behind, to be fair. He could be running in the points. You never know. Pace is good, though, at the minute. I'm quite happy. Just did a personal best, like I mentioned, so we're hanging in there. Hopefully the softs are really good. I'm really banking on these soft tyres delivering for me. I don't think we'll score points, but I'll tell you something. For our first try, we're going to get bloody close. Oh, okay, car in the pit lane, Ricciardo, who's 2-stopping. That's going to give us P6 once again.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
We're 2 laps away. We're getting closer now. I can't wait to pit and put the soft tyres on. Just got to try and hang on. For now, we're keeping both of the racing points behind us, which is very surprising. Okay, Ocon pits for the second time. So both Renaults have been in and out.
2.5 seconds.
Okay, Mick as well goes for his second stop, so
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
aggressive strategy from my teammate. So at the minute we do have track position over him. We've gone for the 1 stop, so I'll tell you what, we're P5. We could bloody well be in the points here, lads. I really do think we could be with all these 2 stoppers. It might just give us a chance. 1.5 laps to go before we pit. Getting a bit loose there. I'm absolutely flying. Nearly 2 tenths up on this lap. And this is my end lap. I'm going to run it in lead mix now through the final part just to save a bit of fuel. Hopefully we'll save a bit of ERS as well. So here we go then, through the final part of the lap. Going to get ready for the pit entry for our 1 and only stop. Soft tyres are selected and ready to go. Right, here we go. Let's see how much we can push this entry. down to the 60. It's a very slow pit entry. Went a bit too cautious maybe, but that's okay. Better safe than sorry. Right, let's see. There's Albon going by. We've got a few more cars, so we are going to drop out the top 10 with these boys driving past. Soft tyres, here we go.
Go now.
P14, 2.8 seconds stop. Here comes Russell. We're going to rejoin just behind him.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
So just like at the start of the race, we were behind Russell and we're behind him again. But the difference is now the roles have reversed. Fuel's burnt off. I've got the softs, he's got warm mediums, or in this case hards actually. Right, so we're P15. I don't think we'll score points today, but we can still get a great finish. I wanted top 15, we've got that. So let's see how high we can push this. And let's try and end this race on a high. Still got 9 laps to go. We can still get something out of this.
Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake. Use overtake.
Yep. Down straight, we're going to use overtake. Here we go. Final few corners, just being patient here behind George. DRS, rich mix, and now we'll crank it up to overtake mode. Russell's defending using his overtake mode.
Guys moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
Down the inside, late one on the brakes. We make it stick. Absolutely perfect. There we go. P14 is ours, and we're ahead of George Russell. Now we've got some clean air to use, so we can stretch our legs on these soft tyres and see how much pace we have on these. The gap ahead is 7.3 to Giovinazzi, so hopefully he can battle Grosjean and we can try and close those boys down. I've got to say the pace is bloody brilliant. I'm over 2 seconds up already. Purple sector 3, oh, sorry, sector 2 should I say. Gap to Giovinazzi down to 5.2 already. I think we can catch these guys, I really do. If the tyres hold on, we've got a strong chance of getting at the top 12 at least. Oh my god, these two are side by side, they're battling really heavily. We're gaining so much. We are going to get a chance to get P12 in this race. I'm on for another personal best, running a little bit wide there, but we are going to improve on this lap marginally. Using up quite a lot of my battery. I'm going to try and not use any more and save a little bit when we catch up to these guys so that we can make an overtake. But I can smell a P12. Let's go, boys. Okay, we'll get DRS on Grosjean here. Looks like he's struggling to hang on to the pace. And Giovinazzi's pulling away, so I do wonder if Grosjean maybe has an issue. As we've got DRS on the Frenchman here, so we are putting the pressure on now. Right, here we go then, boys. We're closing in. I'm saving my energy. Try and get him on the run out of turn 1, possibly down towards turn number 3. That's where I'd like to get him, getting a bit loose there, a bit sideways. Here we go, Grosjean kind of covering the middle of the track. We're going to go around the outside. We should have the mechanical grip on these soft tyres, even though they're a bit second hand now. And there we go, down the inside, and we make a nice move.
Great pass.
Cheers, Jeff. Right then, let's chase down Giovinazzi. Rear tyres just starting to light up a little bit now. Temperatures look okay, so we're not overheating. But just concerned that I'm just starting to lose the tyres a bit now, and I'm struggling to really close up this last part of the gap to Giovinazzi here. I think we'll get a chance to pass, but whether we stay in front or not, we've still got quite a few laps to go. I'm not so sure. Let's see if we can line them up for the pit straight maybe. Here we go. We're pretty close through here in fairness. DRS, overtake mode engaged. Now we go up to rich mix. Not quite close enough, so we'll back off for now. Let Giovinazzi use his overtake mode on the pit straight, and now we'll get him here. DRS, here we go. He's leaving the inside open. Can we attack that space? Oh no, mistake. I broke myself on the gravel. Here comes Grosjean. Can we stay in front of him? Big mistake though. Gravel on the tyres. Let's try and keep Grosjean behind, but this isn't good. We was quicker than him, so I should be able to pull away. Just got to clean the tyres up a little bit.
Front is 3.4 seconds.
Yeah, that's done now, mate. I'm not going to catch Giovinazzi now. That was my chance, and I made a mistake. The AI actually this year really good on the braking. It's not like in past years where you can outbrake them. You know, they'll brake really, really late. So even that little outbraking there, that was a bit too much. Looks like I'm okay now. I'm going to try and pull away from Grosjean and use up the rest of my resources to open up a gap. And to bring home a P13, which would be absolutely fine by me. I'll take that. Here we go then. Through the final few corners then. We're going to bring home a P13, which is a great result for the first race of the season. I will absolutely take that. Bottas picks up the win. And Sainz making a late charge on the mediums in the McLaren, but it's not going to be enough. And you know what? That is much better than I expected. And that is a great start to the season. Hopefully we can push on, but that is great.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Well, there we have it then, guys. The results are in. Valtteri Bottas picks up the win for Mercedes in race 1 of the brand new season in F1 2020. Max Verstappen second, Sebastian Vettel third on the podium for Ferrari. Lando Norris P4 for McLaren. Great result from him ahead of Perez and Stroll. And, you know, just imagine with a slightly quicker car, we could have been up there today because we was battling with those three boys not too long ago. Albon P7, Ricciardo and Ocon 8th and 9th. And Kvyat picks up the final point for AlphaTauri. Then it's both Alfa Romeo's missing out on the points with us in P13. Carlos Sainz 14th ahead of Grosjean, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher on the two-stopper down in 17th place, but he does manage to beat Russell on track and also Latifi, so we beat both of the Williams cars, and Pierre Gasly DNFs along with Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. So there you go, there's your lot, and there are your final 22 classified runners in this race. But we're now going to move into the laptop and we're going to see what we can apply to the car in terms of upgrades heading into the next race. And I thought I'd quickly cover this real quick so you can see on screen the team acclaim has gone up. So Mick has leveled up to level 4. We are still level 1, but the team as a whole has leveled up to level number 2 now, which means we are going to get a 10% combined acclaim boost. And also we are going to get a nice bit of cash flow. And it does now mean we can put on an extra sponsor as we are now level 2 as a team. Okay, so we are back on the main menu screen, if you will, and we did get a pretty good payout and also an increase in level. So you can see in the top right, our team now is level 2. So I believe we can actually sign on a new sponsor, I believe. You can see we've got a few more days here before Grand Prix weekend. We've only got 2 days, so we've only got enough for a couple of activities, so we'll look at that in a minute. First of all, though, let's jump around and have a little look to see what we have. So I want to go over to corporate first and delve into secondary sponsor. This is it. I feel like we can add another one to, again, make the car look a bit more competitive. You know, it's got very basic sponsoring at the minute, so we can definitely add some more. So here we have then a couple of sponsors, as you can see on screen, all based off of real life ones, but they're kind of remade in like a, you know, obviously a fake version, but they're all based off of certain real life ones. So I'm curious to see which one the best one would be. We're going to have a little look and I'll make a decision shortly. I can't lie, looking at the options, I do quite like the Atlantic one. It's got a pretty high weekly income, which is what we should be looking at. It's a 70-day contract, so it's not the shortest or the longest, which is quite good. And the gold bonus is relatively higher, but weekly income is over 100 grand, which is, I believe, more than any of the others on the list. So I think we're going to go for that one because that will give us a nice weekly bonus and help us out massively. So there we go then, we've signed Atlantic. They're on a 70-day contract, so I'm guessing that will renew as we complete the deal. It says complete a total of 75 laps during a race weekend, so we can more than achieve that, of course, if we do, you know, a race and loads of practice, of course, which we've been doing quite a lot of recently, and we need to improve. So it's good to see. Our weekly income now has gone up to 349,000, so we are improving, which is great. And there are more things here. So I'm looking at the driver perks and I'm tempted to throw some perks on there. I think they could help us out. So looking at the options, they are quite expensive, so we'll only do one of these for now. We have 1.1 million in the balance, and looking at the options, I would want to upgrade a certain department, but we're going to hold off on that for now. We'll work on certain things. So we've got the social media team to improve driver acclaim, the power mapping to improve engine wear, which is pretty good to be fair, media coaching, which would give us more additional answers, which is also pretty good, and development feedback, which would increase our R&D points by 10%. Looking at these, they're pretty relatively, you know, different in terms of the way they're scaled, but I'm going to go for media coaching. I'm going to improve the amount of answers we get, therefore we can answer questions more effectively. And finally, we're now going to do some upgrades for the next race. So first and foremost, the chassis. We did have a failed upgrade for this race, so we'll develop that for the next one. Hopefully it'll give us better rear grip, and hopefully the car will improve. I believe that's going to arrive for the Vietnam Grand Prix. So any upgrades we do throw on now, I believe won't arrive in time. I am tempted to do another engine power one just to keep us, you know, up to date. So we'll throw another one of those on there as well. And we've still got 1,100 points to spend. So we're going to keep pushing. And we can't do aero because the department capacity has been reached. So we'll look at durability maybe as an option. That could be a potential way to improve. And we'll go for the MGUH in fairness. That could be a good upgrade to make. That will help us out quite a lot. And that will arrive on the 1st of April. So if we go back to the calendar, 16th of March, Bahrain is in 3 days' time. So what we'll do is we'll assign a couple of activities to round things off. So we've got the reaction training for the awareness, and that's going to be for the second driver promotion filming to improve the acclaim power team building. So I'm guessing that is to improve the powertrain department, which would be quite good to be fair. And the sponsor event, which would give us a little bit less cash, but give the team a bit more better reputation. So it's interesting. I'm going to say some improvements are needed, those straight off the bat. So we're going to go for some power team building to improve the power unit, and hopefully that will help us out. And yeah, there we go. Let's quickly go back to the calendar and advance time, and move into the next race at Bahrain to get things ready. And there we go then, we've simulated time to the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we are ready to go for round 2 of the season. I'm also going to upgrade off stream, like off the video afterwards. I'm going to upgrade the way the car looks with the new sponsors, so hopefully guys will look forward to seeing that in the next episode. But that is it from me here today, guys, for race number 1 of the My Team Career Mode, the Australian Grand Prix. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you are new, guys, for daily Formula 1 content on the channel. Also click the bell icon, guys, to be notified when that content does go live. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subs, guys, by the end of the year, so if you could subscribe, that would massively help me out. And also finally, guys, check out the 2 videos on your screen and right now if you have missed them. And yeah, guys, there'll be plenty of F1 2020 content on the channel going out every single day, so keep your eyes peeled. But that is it from me here today, and I will see you all in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.